Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. This week we're looking at how to make chicken stock. It's almost a cliche to say that the difference between restaurant food and home cooking is the quality of your stocks and sauces, but it really is true. For most home cooks, when a recipe calls for stock, the first thing you reach for is a stock cube, and these can be really good sources of extra flavour for your dishes. But there are a few problems with them. And making your own chicken stock or vegetable stock or any other type of stock is such a rewarding experience, and it gives you this incredible weapon to have in your arsenal in the kitchen. So this is really important if you want to lift your home cooking to the next level. Now before we get into the recipe, I want to highlight what I consider to be the most important difference between the stock cubes you get in the supermarket and making your stock at home, and that is salt. Stock and stock cubes you buy in the supermarket almost always have salt near the top of that ingredients list. And the problem with having this much salt in a stock cube is that your dishes can quickly become over-seasoned if you reduce those sources. So gravies have to be made by using thickeners such as flour or cornstarch, and soups have to be very carefully seasoned so they're not overly salty. When you make stock at home, if you don't add any salt, then that means you can customize how you use that stock in your dishes later on. You can use any chicken bones to make stock. The leftover bones and carcass from the Sunday roast should never find their way into the waste until they've had a long soak in the stock pot. But more often than not, in our house, the stock pot is the first thing to be put on and not the last. A whole chicken is broken down as soon as it arrives in the kitchen. And next to my chopping board there'll be a large pot ready for the bones. Buying whole chickens and breaking them down yourself is a skill that for the most part has left home kitchens, but once you get to grips with it, it will save you money and it will provide you with so many options. It's not too difficult, just make sure your knife is sharp. Follow the contours of the bones and feel for the joints between the drumstick and thigh, and between the wing and the breast, and you'll cut through with no resistance. I prefer to break down the carcass and wings further using a cleaver before roasting them, as this means they're easier to submerge once the water is added, and also provides more surface area, both for the browning in the oven and for the extraction of all that goodness once the stock is simmering. After 30 minutes in a 200-degree oven, add the halved onions, keeping any clean skins on, celery and carrot. Mix the vegetables with some tomato paste before adding to the pot, as this gives a deeper colour and a richer flavour. Return the pot to the oven to roast until caramelised, about another 30 minutes. If there's a lot of fat at this point, then drain off as much as you can before covering the bones in cold water and bringing to a gentle boil on the stove. As the stock reaches boiling point, a foamy scum will begin to form on the top. Skim this off with a skimmer, a small sieve or a spoon, and repeat this process a couple of times over the course of the next few hours. This keeps the stock clear and not cloudy. Once skimmed, reduce the pot to a simmer and let it slowly cook for 3 to 4 hours until the liquid is halved in volume and is a deep, ready brown. Strain the stock into another pan and return to the stove to reduce down until shiny and lightly syrupy in texture. The key is to reduce and reduce and reduce your final stock until you can fit it into a simple freezer ice tray. That way, when it comes to a dish where you need stock, you simply take out 1 or 2 of the cubes, add boiling water, and voila, you've got chicken stock. 1 or 2 cubes should make about 400 millilitres of full flavoured stock, but you can simply add more until you find the flavour you like. So as you can see, making stocks is a simple and hands-off process, and the improvement it brings to your cooking far outweighs the effort put in. Not much can go wrong, just try to avoid letting the stock boil vigorously, and give it a couple of skims every now and then as you pass the pot on the stove. That's it for today, thanks so much for watching. Please do check out my channel, do subscribe if you like these videos. I try to go into a little bit more detail than what you might typically find on other recipe videos, because I find it helps so much more if you understand why you do things in the kitchen and not simply how. It gives you that freedom then to experiment a bit more and come up with your own dishes in your own style. So if you like the sound of that, please do head over to my channel and subscribe. Visit my website www.oscarschumacher.com. I write the recipes up there and I add them on a weekly basis. And I also write a little bit more about food and food culture and that sort of thing. So check that out if that's of interest. Hit the like button, thanks so much, and see you next week.